afternoon, everyone, and thank you for attending this year's Power of Play events. Like everything else in 2020, this year's a little different. For the past 18 years, we've gathered at the Hotel Murano, over 300 strong, to celebrate the power of play in the lives of young children. Instead of enjoying gazing out over a gathering of friendly and supportive faces, which for me is one of my favorite parts of the lunch, I'm speaking to you from my office, but I know that many friends are viewing from your homes. Maybe you're even in your jammies. Thank you for being here. What continues this year, though, is the amazing support we receive from our perennial sponsors. Thanks to Boeing, Columbia Bank, and Mary Bridge, great supporters. Throughout this Power of Play week, you'll have 3 different events to enjoy. Today's kickoff, tomorrow's conversation between Play to Learn teacher Cheryl and Tacoma's own Kwabi from the Peace Bus. Thursday is our finale, when I'll talk with Mike George, president of Jeff Bezos' preschool venture, Day One Academies. Today, I'll take a few moments to share my reflections over the past year, which was a doozy. Then I'll engage in a conversation about building child-centered community with my friend and my colleague, Dr. Tafana Irvin from the Foundation for Tacoma Students. Last week, we lost a pillar in our community, Harold Moss. Mayor Woodards was extremely close to Mayor Moss and is taking this time to grieve with family and friends. Our hearts are with all who loved Mayor Moss. Lastly, Greentrike Board President Lisa Hoffman will share her thoughts, and I'll be back to close today's event. First, I want to take a moment to reflect on the life and contributions of longtime board member and community gem Dave Edwards, who passed away in February. Dave served on our board of directors for 12 years, the longest standing board member, and he and his wife Pat, a good friend to me and to Greentrike, are the only spouses to have both served as board president. Pat actually is the board president that hired me. Dave was the board president to move the museum to Pacific Avenue and to embrace a bolder, diverse vision for service in our community. Dave was a big Greentrike cheerleader out in the community, and he was a dedicated and trustworthy board member. I loved the way Dave's eyes would brighten when he would see children at play in the museum galleries. And he also became very impassioned and serious when talking about Greentrike's staunch commitment to access. Dave meant a lot to me personally, and I miss him. The staff misses him. We are renaming our office meeting space the Dave Edwards Conference Room. And to playfully remember Dave's routine of showing up early to meetings, a clock will always run 20 minutes ahead of schedule on Dave time. To honor Dave's memory, we dedicate this week's Power of Play events to Dave and send loving thoughts to Pat. I know she's watching today. 1 year ago, the Children's Museum of Tacoma became Greentrike. And when I made that announcement at last year's Power of Play lunch, I said that there was much I knew about Greentrike, but I remained open to all that I did not know about Greentrike. At that time, who could have predicted the multitude and magnitude of challenges we would face together? Despite the hardships, 2020 has gifted us some great learnings and lessons that we will carry forward and that will help guide Greentrike's journey. In mid-March, Greentrike went from a staff of 69 to a staff of roughly 20. Within 2 days, all of our programs ceased operations, and the morning that I had to share that news with our team was my saddest day of work in 24 years. But our team is committed and we're steadfast. They took the news with courage and with hope. I'm happy to report that thanks to careful management, a nimble team, a supportive board of directors, and a generous community, Greentrike is strong and we are viable. By mid-May, we were able to reopen or newly launch essential programming and return our team to nearly 50 employees. Greentrike's strength is that we are practitioners first and conveners and advocates second. We learn by doing and by modeling child-centered quality, and then we work to make things better. Greentrike has helped lead in the creation of the first responder and essential worker day camps in partnership with Tacoma Public Schools, Metro Parks, the YMCA, and the Boys and Girls Clubs. Since then and through December of this year, Greentrike has helped form the vision and execute the plan to provide needed childcare services to our community. And while this does not even scratch the surface of the issue, it's making a difference for hundreds of families every day. Through these day camps and through the growth of our Greentrike Cares kits, expansion of the Muse, a children's center to incorporate school-aged children, and transitioning Play to Learn to a virtual platform, Greentrike is back in serving children in our community. What's ahead in 2020 and what lessons are we bringing forward? Thanks to the pre-pandemic success of our More Than a Museum capital campaign, we will be installing a new playscape in the downtown flagship location and hope to reopen the museum's doors to families in early 2021. We cannot wait to share this beautiful new feature with children and families. Also, in the spring of 2021, we anticipate formally celebrating the opening of the Children's Museum of Tacoma at JBLM. Years in the making for many of us, this will be a first of its kind on a military installation. I was out there last week and I predict it's going to be one of the most beautiful children's museums in the country. It's fantastic. When it's safe to do so, we also look forward to meeting families in their neighborhoods with the Play to Learn program back in action. All of this is important to our mission to serve children, honor them, and champion their play. But the way we achieve that mission is forever changed by the events of 2020. I worry about what this pandemic and the resulting lack of peer-to-peer play will mean for our youngest children. Greentrike must show up strong in advocating for the rights of children in both formal and informal learning settings. It's time to strengthen our convening and advocacy around the need for a more play-based approach to early education and resolve to better the child care conditions in our community. The injustices that impact children and families in our community must be named and must be eliminated. Greentrike will stand strong with communities of color, with families of every ability, disability, orientation, socioeconomic standing, and we will work first internally to make sure that Greentrike is the best place our team has ever worked, and then externally to make sure that families see themselves in Greentrike and in our team. It is time to more formally lean into the child-centered community work. In partnership with a diverse cross-section of community leaders, the time for change is now. Greentrike will call for the community to help define, build, and celebrate what being a child-friendly city looks like. In 2020, our internal motto was Ride the Trike. Get on this thing and see what it's like, give it a spin, see where it wants to go. I saw us as humble passengers for the first year of the journey, looking to discover the path intended for us. Pedal hard and with intention might be the guiding motto moving forward. Continue to be practitioners dedicated to quality, but pedal hard and pedal with intention into the spaces of convening and advocacy. Take advantage of this climate of change to create change that honors children and champions their right to play, and to root that change in justice. There's a step on the back of the trike. I invite you to come along with me in this journey, because we truly can't do this without our dedicated community members just like you. Your contributions to Greentrike keep us positioned to do this good work and show solidarity in the mission to honor children and champion play. Thank you. Let's now move on to the conversation with Dr. Irvin.